Hi, I just returned from the House floor where I took the oath of office to represent Vermonters in the House of Representatives for the next 2 years. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, and I look forward to doing that job. You know, a lot of us were dismayed after this election. None of us had heard the kind of rhetoric in a presidential campaign that we heard in this contest. And shortly after the election, we had a telephone town hall meeting. Over 11,000 Vermonters were participating, and they expressed their dismay. And one of the questions that came up is, how am I going to do my job in these next 2 years? And here's what I'm going to do. Number one, if we see that the alarming rhetoric of the campaign is proposed to become law, things like discriminating against people on the basis of their religion, on the basis of their ethnicity, attacks on women, attacks on people on the basis of their sexual orientation, I am going to fight back fiercely. I am going to resist that fiercely, and I hope you will too. There is no place in our democracy to compromise the civil rights of any person for any reason, at any place or any time. Second, on the economic policies, where my view, we really have to focus our energies so that the middle class can start to get ahead. Many folks in this country haven't had a raise in 15 or 20 years. When there are policies proposed that are going to intensify making things harder for middle class people, tax cuts to the wealthy, taking away Medicare, privatizing Medicaid, things that are really going to be bad for people trying to get ahead, making college more expensive. I am going to fight those. I'm going to oppose those. But I'm always going to do it as I propose a concrete and constructive alternative, a way forward for you and me and average Vermonters. And then third, when Donald Trump in the campaign made some proposals that I think were positive, I'm going to work with him to make those happen. And I hope I'll have a chance to do a lot of that. But there were three things he spoke about that I think are good ideas. Getting our prescription drug prices down by negotiating with the drug companies. I am all for that. I've been working on that for years. Number two, an ambitious infrastructure program. That's our roads, our bridges in rural America and Vermont. It's building out our broadband. It's having our sewer and septic systems working. I'm all in there for that. That's putting people to work in good jobs and building for the future. And then third, Pentagon spending. You know, a lot of these contracts are over budget and delayed. And Donald Trump says he doesn't like that. I don't either. Vermonters don't either. And if he proposes concrete ways to address that, I'm going to be all in. You know, the final thing is a lot of Vermonters are asking me all the time, Peter, what can I do? And you know what? All of us have to ask ourselves that question. And my answer to that is act locally. Act where you are in the way that you can, taking into account the responsibilities you have. You know, if you've got time and you're a younger person and you can volunteer, do it. If you're a working mom, support a couple of kids and you're really juggling all kinds of things, it just might be a few hours a week. But what you can do, do it. And remember that our democracy depends on you. It depends on listening to your neighbor, finding common ground, and doing in a cooperative way what you can to solve problems and not make them worse. You do that, I do what I have to do, we're going to make this, we're going to make it work in the next 2 years. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to represent you in Washington.